us together, but we thank you for sharing him with us. I want to say just a few things, and then we'll open it up and let some of the rest of you share a few things. But I've got a couple of things I'd like to share. I was chatting with someone that asked me to do this. I've done this like 200 plus times. Yeah.
Coca.
Yes. Thank you, Coco. When Russ was born, he cried, but the world rejoiced. He lived a life honoring those that he loved, those who were his elders, his wife, the ways of his fathers. And now that he's returned to the one from whom he came, the world cries, but I'm telling you, he's rejoicing.
He's going to take over heaven.
Yes, there's a pretty good chance. And I'm guessing he's going to have both feet to run with. He's got a new body, and it's going to be good, and he will flat out take over.
He's flying it on.
Putting up the speakers right now.
Yes, he will. And the DJ stuff will start in just a minute. But it's really neat that we're here. I appreciate you coming out. I know he's rejoicing. I know there are tears that have been shed. There are more tears to be shed. But he's in a wonderful place, and he's at peace. There's a verse of scripture, whether you're religious or not, there's a verse of scripture. There's a prophet named Isaiah, lived a few thousand years ago. He wrote this, 57th chapter. The righteous perish. No one takes it to heart. The devout are taken away. No one understands that the righteous are taken away, sometimes to be spared from evil. Those who walk uprightly, though, they enter into peace, and they find rest. He's at peace. He's at rest. He's in no more pain, no more suffering. And he was young. I mean, I'm older than him, so I know he was very young. And I'm not very old.
So you get a lot of hours in because
Yeah.
he never slept.
Yeah. That's about it.
He was on overtime.
Yeah.
So he left us young. You know, mercy is one of those crazy words that preachers bant around from the pulpits all the time, and sometimes we don't spend a lot of time really thinking about what mercy is. And mercy is when you really do have the opportunity to not get what you deserve and to get something that's way better. And I don't understand all there is to know about God's mercy, but I know it's merciful when he allows us to come home. Because I believe there's a way better place, and there's a way better body, and there's a way better eternity for all of us. Mm-hmm. This is the shortest thing we will ever do right now, living in this life. There's a wonderful verse that I heard. I actually heard it in a song form. I'm not going to sing. I would invite one of the mayors to come and join me to sing, or Mayor Pro Tem. But I want to share this with you. It's really cool. It's called Long Live the Journey. Long live the journey. And long live the children we raise. And long live the memories, like leaves that are carried away. Just like a tree that slowly grows, the higher we reach, the deeper we go. We're living for something that will be here when we're old. And we're headed for someplace just a little further down the road. Redwoods and daisies never look worried to me. They take what's been given as if that's all they'll ever need, and if that's all they'll ever need, maybe that's all we really need. We're living for something that'll be here when we're old, and we're headed for someplace just a little further down the road. Some people's reason for living is to get all they can and move on. But I find more grace in what's given, because it leads me to where I belong. Elders are people who hold law and grace in their hands, where death is a doorway and falling's just learning to stand, and less is more than we really need. And empty is a space for us to receive. We're living for something that'll be here when we're old. And we're headed for someplace a little further down. Christina, I know there's going to be empty time, empty hearts. You're going to walk in that house, and he's supposed to be sitting in that chair, and that son of a not there. But you can talk to him just like he is, because I know he's there. And he'll love you forever, until you reach out to him and take him on the other side, and you walk across heaven, holding each other's arms. I'd like to lead a prayer, and then I'd open it up to anyone else. Father, we thank you for this time to be here. We thank you for these people that love Russ enough and Athena enough to come into this place and spend just a few minutes with one another, showing her how much we cared for him. And Father, as word travels of his passing and word travels of this gathering, I know that there will be many others who will reach out to her and reach out to him and just share their condolences and their heartfelt longings to have been here. Father, I pray your blessings on Athena. May she truly be held up by this community, and may she know that there are a lot of people that not only love Russ, but they love her, and they'll show their love for Russ by supporting and loving on her and her family. In the name of Jesus, amen. Amen. Anyone else?
What on there?
Hey,
Come on, Joe.
Hey, why do you do this to me? I don't know if I'm going to get up on top of the truck, but
No, that's tough.
I just want to say I love Russ. I love everybody, to be honest with you, but Russ was a good man. Russ was an awesome man. I would speak with Russ when I would go to the chamber or any other place I'd see him, and he'd give me advice, and good advice all the time. And he always was there if I needed him, and he was an awesome man. Get that camera out of my face. But Athena, we're here for you. You have the city here for you. Anything you need, you just call one of us. We'll be there for you. And again, he's in a better place, better than where we're at. This is only temporary. Our lives here is temporary, and that's what I tell everybody. I go, why build up your riches here? I mean, it's only temporary. You're going to die. Your kids are going to fight over all your money, and you know what? Eternal life. That's where you got to build your riches. And Russ is there now, and I pray for you. I pray for him, and I thank God that I got to meet him. He's a good man. Thank you.
Crystal.
Volunteer me.
I'm not one of them people.
So Russ came on city council, and many of you know we had some fiery debates, man. He was always ready to do battle, and he always thought he was right. It was hard to convince him otherwise, you know. But he always did his homework, and that's something that I appreciated, because it brought a different, dynamic to the council. He brought the spice to the council is what he did. He made us laugh hysterically. I don't know how many of you know this story, but I'm going to tell it because he told it at the council meeting, and I almost fell off my chair laughing, because he had one good leg, right? He goes out to a restaurant and dropped his knife and didn't realize he stabbed himself in the leg.
The good one?
The good one, the good leg.
Of course.
And so he's telling this story, and he tells me that he not only did it once, but he did it twice, 2 times. I'm like, we cannot give him steak knives anymore. That was our motto: no steak knives, no meetings with steak knives, because he can't handle them. We absolutely loved him. He was a blessing to our council. He was a blessing to our city. He was always everywhere. He was an amazing man. And I think they're right. He's already in heaven, and he's already telling on you all your secrets, and he's getting ready for when you come home. But don't make it too soon, because we need you here.
No, he told me I have to live a long, happy life.
That's right.
my
He wants you to be
words.
happy.
Make him wait.
Yeah, that's right.
He made you wait, whatever
And we're
he
going to
does.
hold you to that.
Exactly.
So God bless you. God bless your son and the rest of your family. I know they're hurting and they're mourning, but he loved you so much, and it showed every day. He really let us know how much he loved you, and that he's always going to be there for you. Good times, bad times, he's going to be there. Next up.
I'll say something.
I want to say something too.
So, not only was Russ a friend to my family, to our community, he was also a fellow Rotarian in our city. And he will be missed. He was fun. He loved classical music, Disney. So we'll be playing that. But just on behalf of him at Club of Rotary, we want to say that Russ will be missed, and he was an amazing individual. And thank you for allowing us to have him the time that we did. Thank you.
Me clean it.
I will.
Okay.
So my name is Clarence Bowser, if you guys don't know. I met Russ last year, and when I say he was a really big part of all of this, I mean that. Like, when I came into the chamber, it was just like, hey,
Yeah.
how you doing? Hey, you know, he opened his arms, and it was just so welcoming. And when he got sick, you know, I didn't get a chance to go to the hospital, but when he got home, I was like, man, it's so good to see you. I was so excited to be around him. Every time we had conversations, he just brightened up your joy, and it just, if you're down, he just lifted you up. And I know that he's impacted a lot of people here. He's changed so many lives, and this is just the start of it, right? So I came into the chamber not knowing anything about the chamber, and he just guided me. He guided me, and we became really good friends. I consider him a really good friend, and he didn't just look at me as a friend. He looked at me as one of his brothers, as a son to him, and it was amazing. So I wrote this poem.
Okay.
It's called I Have to Go. In a moment of time may feel like this moment is a living hell. But because I have to go. But before I leave, there are a few things I need you to know. Life is short, and this time is brief. So take a brief time to enjoy this short life, and let God handle your grief. There may be someone next to you hurting, so don't be so quick to judge. So give everyone what I gave to you, and always show people love. Life wasn't always so good, but you made it fun. So enjoy your life, because my work here is done. Smile today, because tomorrow's not promised. Even though I have to go, it's your smile that I'm going to miss. Remember to do unto others what you would want others to do unto you. And even if others don't do, you continue to do. I have to go now, so remember what I taught. Where love is genuine, it can never be bought. I have to go, but this isn't goodbye. Because in your eyes, I never die. And as long as you keep that thought, then my spirit stays alive. I have to go, not because I wanted to, but because there's something else that I had to do. So remember the most important lesson that was given to you. No matter what happens, I will always love you.
Beautiful. That was beautiful.
Come on, Rich.
That's a tough act to follow. Hey, I'm gonna be real brief, and everybody who knew Russ, you know, there's givers and takers in this community, and Russ was definitely a giver. And you know, sometimes I'd call in or something, and I was having a tough day or something going on, and he'd always end with, ask about something, or he'd always ask me how's business, how's things. He always ended with, how can I help? That was Russ. And you know, when he would do that, you didn't know what he was going through at that moment, but it had a great impact. He would put others above himself. And Athea, you shared him with this valley and your love so much. because of that, I want you to know that we appreciate it and can never have that feeling or do anything that what he's given is just something that that very few could ever accomplish, and it's a tough act to follow, you know. But thank you for sharing him. God bless you. Okay, thank you. Malcolm.
My name is DJ Gibby, and Russ was a very good friend of mine. When I came to this county about 20 years ago, he was one of the first people that I met through a mutual friend, Timothy Kubo. And I'll tell you, Russ was a character. Most of you know, he had a very vivid sense of humor. And I loved him because he did have a peg leg, and I like pirates. And that's what he was. Russ taught me a few things I'm going to share with you. Coming from San Diego to here, or moving my mom out here was like moving Zsa Zsa Gabor to Green Acres. And Russ and me used to laugh about that. Then he also warned me that people would try to sell me tractors like Mr. Haney, but I'm not a farmer. I'm a DJ just like Russ. And because of listening to his advice, I've been able to work and help a lot of the small businesses in this area. He was big on small business. I'm big on small business. I'm not a politician, but I used to like to brag that I had a friend that was a mayor. Even though I was like an outlaw at the time, you know, or ex-outlaw, whatever. And, you know, he was just a beautiful person all around. You know, he did treat me like a brother. And he did instruct me, you know, like when people would make unreasonable requests and stuff like that. You know, he taught me how to have the temperament for the trade. And because of him, I've been able to work in this community for over some 20 years now. I can't pass by a building without somebody asking me to do something. And I'm doing it gratefully now. It's most of the time. People can get pretty testy. What I love about Russ, and what I think everybody can agree on, is that he never let anything limit him. You know, and I was born blind, I have arthritis, I got all kinds of problems, whatever. And that's what he used to tell me too, whatever. You know, just ignore stuff and do, because we both love music. And that's the bond that I share with everyone. Hopefully, you know, like if I'm ever able to do something for you musically, you'll see the joy. So from now on and for forever, I'll always play a song for Russ. I'll figure one out. I'll figure something out, and I'll have a little smile on my face when someone's trying to bug the crap out of me, and I'll just think about Russ, and I'll play a song for him. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Russ.
Thank you for sharing him. We'll see. Thank you for sharing him with the Valley. When I met him when I first got on council in 2020, and you know, he'd give me a lot of wisdom about, you know, because I was like, hey, I'm not a politician, you know, what did I get myself into, kind of thing, because that's what I was thinking about when, you know, after, you know, I was sworn, I was like, what is going on? And he was somebody that I would call on when the agenda would appear, and I'd have to go over the agenda. And so he'd give me all kinds of advice about, you know, who I could talk to and getting questions answered and kind of understanding the agenda. So I really appreciate him. He's been low key by my side and helping me understand a lot of this political world and kind of understanding what's going on and stuff like that. So I totally appreciate him. But now I have to find someone else to vent to. I mean, he was the one that encouraged me to go on Him and I News with Eddie during the Fairview fire, because I felt bad because I was getting so much criticism from the city that I didn't say anything about the fire, and I wasn't communicating with the city. And I went to him and I was like, what's going on? And he's like, well, there's nothing you can do. You let the experts work. And, you know, and things, if the experts told you, the fire department, CAL FIRE, if they tell you, hey, we got it, then they got it. And I had to step back. But at the same time, I'm getting criticism, and he was there encouraging me, and he's like, don't take it personally, and things like that. And so I really, truly appreciate your husband, and I'm really gonna miss this guy.
He's got he had like so many messages of people that were like, hey, we're supposed to get together, and like, Oh my God, when he's in the hospital, it was like nonstop.
Yeah.
Like, hey, when are we gonna get together for this
Yeah.
or that? And I was like, oh my gosh, we had like so many plans
Yeah.
that were left undone with other people.
He's coming back. Good girl.
Thank you.
Come on, Linda.
Well, what I would like to say about Russ is that he was truly a Valley person. He knew no boundaries when it came to advertising for businesses or speaking out about people that were good, bad, indifferent. He would speak his mind.
Oh yeah.
We served on several boards together, and you didn't doubt where Russ was coming from, which was so refreshing. He also could take it. When you disagreed with him, you could have a conversation and you'd end up hugging each other when we were done. His sense of humor was one that you just sit there and go, oh God. Roll your eyes and go, okay, let's go on to the next subject. But he was a good guy. He is a good guy. He will always be remembered. And we loved him in Rotary. Good Rotarian, service above self.
I know he would
he
have done
lived-
more if he wasn't always sick. Yeah,
He
would've done
he
more.
lived the motto. It was service above self. And thank you for sharing him with us. We appreciate that. We will always remember him. And just know that we're here for you and we love you too.
Well,
Val, you're up.
So I just want to say, obviously Russ and Athena had a wonderful relationship. Every time that, I have no idea what Russ said to Athena, but every time he talked to her, she giggled like a little schoolgirl.
We had a lot of inside
And
jokes.
there was a ton of inside jokes.
Yeah.
I am not a poet, but I believe that I used Google. I do kind of look like one. But I kind of use Google as an oracle. And when I came across this poem, which was immediate after I heard of Russ's passing, it reminded me exactly of him. And apparently I'm getting old and my eyes are super bad now, so hopefully I can read this. Don't grieve for me, for now I'm free. I follow the plan that God laid for me. I saw his face, I heard his call, I took his hand and left it all. I'm not really sure if that's helping, Coco.
try.
It might have been helping. Go ahead. I could not stay another day to love, to laugh, to work or play. Tasks left undone must stay that way. And if my parting has left a void, then fill it with remembered joy. A friendship shared, a laugh, a kiss. Ah, yes, those things I too shall miss. My life's been full. I've savored much. Good times, good friends, a loved one's touch. Perhaps my time seemed all too brief. Don't shorten yours with undue grief. Be not burdened with tears of sorrow. Enjoy the sunshine of the morrow. And when I read that poem, I really thought that embraced Russ's outlook on life. And I could picture him, when I think about people dying, I think about them looking down at their loved ones and wanting them to be happy, wanting them to enjoy life, and wanting them to just continue and just do the best that you can while you're here. And that's what really made me think about Russ when I saw that. I love you, Athena. I know that Russ loved his children. He was always just 100% behind them, and I'll always be jealous of the relationship that you had with him. Yeah.
Oh my, okay. Well,
The first time I met Russ, speak loud, I'm pretty good at that.
I know.
The first time I met Russ is when I was Mrs. Hammett. And we'd go to all the events at the ribbon cuttings and everything, and he'd be there. And there's 8 of us, 4 from San Jacinto, 4 from Hammett. And I always stood next to him because I was the oldest and the sturdiest. And so those girls were like poles, let me tell you. And he'd always stand next to me and he'd hold on to me. But during the picture, he'd start rocking. And he's like, Val, put your arm around me and then catch me mid-rock. And Cindy, take the picture now. And it was just, every time I see that leg just bouncing around. And then I'd ask him when we go to a party or something, if he'd make a drink for me. And for some reason I tell him I don't drink. That meant put this much more alcohol. So Athena knows what I'm talking about. I do not drink. And I got used to Russ's favorite punch, whatever the heck was in that punch. But Russ was a joy for me to be with. He taught me, he walked me through city council to see what I could do to help the city, and I'm grateful for him for that. And you guys have just been there for us, and we just love you, and God bless you. God bless us all. Thank you. That's it.
I gotta go now because my candle's about to burn out.
I know, your candle's going out.
Move the paper down, Mike.
First, I'd like to thank God for His grace, His favor, and His mercy in our lives, allowing us to be part of Russ's life and Russ to be part of our life. This candle is a little light, and we're using it right now to honor Russ's life. But we should all use this as a symbol of what we should do is take that little light that Russ left in us and take it with us and spread it around the world. Because Russ was a great guy. And sometimes he was an asshole.
But he was a great asshole.
He was a great, even when he was an asshole, he was a great guy. He loved this valley. He loved its people. I would have to give him the nickname of Mr. San Jacinto, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's who he was. But he loved the whole valley. If you're standing here, he loved you, and evidently you loved him. And our deepest condolences to the family. And you guys know that anything you need, all you have to do is ask, and everyone here is here for you. We loved Russ. We're going to miss him. There's not anything that can replace a guy like that, but we could all try to do better. Thank you for sharing it with us. God bless all of you.
Cindy?
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
My name is Art Shepard. I met Russ. I live in San Jacinto, and I was having problems with the city. And everybody's talking about how angelic Russ is, you know. But Russ was like a real warrior. I remember when I had a problem, and I told him, his eyes started gleaming like a bear, and he helped me through my problem. This poem, I don't know what its religiousness is, but this poem, it goes like this. It goes, "We're Christian warriors and we're on patrol. We gonna knock, knock, knock. The devil stone cold. The devil, our enemy, comes to steal our land, but we rely only on the Father's right hand. When it comes to a battle, we are always ready and well prepared to always stand steady. The key to our victory is we never back down, and we only take our orders from he who wears the crown, from he who wears the crown. The battle is not always given to the strong, but to the ones who endure all day long. We get our instruction from the holy book of truth. You can choose any, Isaiah, Job, or Ruth. Some people say got a bad attitude. We're on a mission from God. We don't mean to be rude, but we're Christian warriors and we're on patrol. You gotta knock, knock, knock. The devil stone cold. Russ, hoorah!
Cindy?
I know he'll like that.
Thanks for calling me up after that. I'm not gonna be able to top that.
You can rap. Russell Stell rapping.
You know, he was hilarious. In my phone, this is terrible. He's Forky.
Yes,
he's Forky in my phone. The little spoon from Toy Story 4. Because when he would say something or he would forget something, I'm like, Russ, you were supposed to. He's like, hey, I'm Forky and you know that. You know? Or like, Laura said something about goats, right? And I'm like, goats? What are you even talking about? But when it would get really stressful or we get overwhelmed, or even if Russ and I were having an agreement or disagreement, he would press the little goat and it would scream on the desk and like break this tension. And he had the goat on his desk forever. I don't even know when it got there or how it got there. But but he was really, really sharp. And I really loved that someone said he did his homework, because he would stop mid-sentence to Google what he was, if you didn't understand what he was saying or he didn't know what you were talking about, he was going to figure it out right then and there. And he's going to be missed, and we appreciate him, and we love you, and thank you for sharing him.
Anyone else? Laura?
Yeah, where's Laura?
Captain? Ben? Captain Brock?
So, I do not like talking in front of people, but I'm doing this for Russ.
Close your eyes.
Picture everybody naked.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
That's what I do.
No. You don't want to see everybody.
Hey, my wife is here. Come on.
That's why I scream before I start my. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, you're laughing all the time. No, he's here.
Physically.
So he was a really good friend to me.
Those candles almost burned people.
Oh yeah, I'm all tore up. He was a really good friend to me. He was there for me at a very important time, and I love him to death, and I miss him so much.
Captain Brock?
I'd like to say one quick thing just
Kevin.
for a moment.
Yay.
Russ was in our office daily, and it was Cindy, myself, and we were warriors in that office, and he was a big part of that warrior team. And now that he's gone, of course, there's a huge void. But I got a kind of a funny story. When anytime our boss, our director, Cindy, would leave the office, Russ would turn up the music and be like, "Do you remember this song?" Cindy didn't know that, but Russ and I connected also with music, like DJ Gibby. I think he's gone now, but that was the way we connected. And he's a great friend, and he taught me a lot just in those few months in the office. So he'll be missed, and I thank you for sharing those with us too. Thank you.
Of course.
Anyone else? I guess I'll go
I don't think the candle's gonna get all
Yeah, get the candles, get the fresh candles.
fresh candle.
You know, you guys all keep thanking Athena for sharing him. I need to thank Russ for sharing Athena. Because Athena is the one who introduced me to Russ. Because she was on the Habitat board with us. And he'll be like, "Why am I not on the board?" I said, "Russ, we can't handle you on the board. We have Athena." we always said 2 for 1, right, D? We always said 2 for 1. So when you're a board member, your significant other automatically became part of the team. And if we all sit here and try to find what's common theme about Russ, probably his sense of humor. And no matter what he was going through, he always seemed happy. You know, I think maybe we all did not realize something. He's a good actor. You know, going through pain and still doing that. Even in the last few weeks, several weeks, whatever, and you know this, him and I were actually talking about setting up an infusion center in our city, because how many people are driving to Riverside or Corona or Paris and whatnot. So he was actually seriously working on it. I told him I'll provide you the space. I took him and showed him the place. So knowing Russ, he's always trying to come up with something to help people. The kind of person he is, it's just amazing. Just recently, I was at the chamber office, and Cindy all of a sudden goes out. Kevin is here, he knows this too. She's giving a ride to some guy. Okay, and we have no idea who it is, what it is. So Russ is looking at me, but he doesn't say anything because of Cindy. So as soon as Cindy goes out, he says, "Coca, she's giving that guy a ride. She doesn't even know who it is." I go, "What are you talking about?" I go, "The one who just went?" He says, "Yeah." I said, "Why didn't you tell me?" He goes, "Well," and I go look at Kevin. He says, "Oh, I was gonna go, but I had to something." So I called her. I was not happy about it. So he calls me back saying, "Coca, she didn't make it back." So no, because you never know, right? I mean, it's unfortunate this day and age we have to think about it. This guy was amazing. anytime he was doing stuff that he's not supposed to, he would say, Coca, is Dr. Coca there? Or don't tell Dr. Coca.
How about that picture of that toe?
Oh my God. And the funny part is, anytime he was doing good, he would actually go tell her that he has done this good thing. I'm like, okay, why don't you tell me some of the good stuff, you know? But Athena, Don, that's at the college. He really loved you guys. You guys know that. The entire community knows that. And I was telling you, the biggest concern he has is about you. And I've always told him, saying, don't worry, this guy's going to come out with some video game that he's going to be all going to say, oh, we know him, or we know his mom and dad or something. So we make that true for him, man. Come on out. You're the man of the house now. In my culture, hey, don't laugh. Hello. In my culture, man is supposed to support the family. Okay, so I know you're capable of it. I've been watching you since you've been a kid, and the good thing, the beautiful thing is, my kids love this guy. I mean, you know that. And even when he said some dumb, stupid things, they would laugh. So we would all. So I just want to say thank you, Russ. Thanks for being there, and appreciate you coming into our lives and enriching them. We're all with you. Anything you need, let us know. And Russ will always come up with some Indian words to come tell me. So I want to end this with something from the Indian culture. Om Trayambakam Yajamame Sugandim Pushtivardhanam Mutyor Mutya Mutat. Basically means may your soul rest in peace. Om Shanti, which means eternal peace. Thank you, Russ. And now you're looking, I'm surprised you didn't blow this off. That's why I changed to a new candle. So here's to Russ. And you guys, the Utz family, we love you guys. The community loves you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, aren't you going to say something? I can record it.
How about 3 cheers for Russ? They used to do back in the old days. Hip hip, remember that? 3 cheers for Russ. Hip hip, hooray! Hip hip, hooray!
Hip hip hooray!
I guess I'll take the ending of it. I knew Russ for several years. Worked with him, through our news group. We promoted the Chamber of Commerce with him. That's actually how I met Russ, was actually through the Chamber. Following him on through with the city council. Russ is the type of person, he had the personality that you just could not help but love, and if you had a frown on your face or you had a bad day, Russ would always make you smile. I don't care what your situation was, Russ would always take that frown and make you force it upside down, make you happy. And I couldn't ever say I had a better friend than I did in Russ. Russ has always been there with us when we needed anything. If there's something going on, I was dealing with crazy, stupid people on our news page. And, Russ was always there, to take my mind off of it. And I just want to say, Russ, I really appreciate, everything. You've been a true friend, and you will be truly missed. And again, thank you for sharing Russ with our community. Thank you.
I want to say something, but I don't know if I can do it. So I'm gonna try. So when I met Russ, I really didn't like him. We worked at a skating rink. I thought there was a lot of guys at the skating rink that were practically pedophiles, right? They were like going after these this was back in the 80s. So they're going after these little 15-year-olds, and they're in their 20s. And Russ was over 18 and I was under 18, but I thought he was way older than he was. And he pursued me for 4 months. He would not leave me alone because, he's very stubborn. And if he has a goal, he just does it. I say it like he's here. If he had a goal, he would just do it. And so he wore me down. I finally was like, fine, I'll go out with you. But I was like, you got to take me to a concert. so I had to make sure I was getting something out of it. And so our first date, we went and saw Beetlejuice and Batman at the Van Buren Drive-In. And he would not stop calling me after that. He would not let me go. But I am so glad that he's stubborn because I had the best life with him. Awesome. I got everything I wanted. He got everything he wanted, so he's happy. He's like, don't fuss over me. I got everything I wanted out of my life. You know, I just wanted children and a good wife. He called me his treasure. Yeah. And he ordered me, like I said, to be happy and live a long, happy life. So we talked about this a lot. We knew he was going to go young, so he's been sick a long time, even though you guys haven't seen it. He's really good at hiding that. Even from me, when I finally caught on to it, I think it was too late. I'm trying to force him to go to doctor's appointments, and it was too late. But I just want to say that I'm just so grateful that he was in my life too, and that I got to share 34 years with him.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And thank you all for coming.
We love you, Dina.
Yeah. And I really appreciate it. I'm really happy that he touched so many lives, because he honestly always would say, no one's going to come to my funeral. No one cares about me. And yeah. And I was like, shut up. You're freaking crazy. And, but yeah, I was like, no, dude, you really matter. I don't know why you don't think you do. Because his thing was like, I'm just doing my thing. This is what I do. You know, so he was definitely like a nonstop person. When he was healthy, I swear he like slept like the last 2 weeks of his life because he was wore out, because he worked nonstop. You know, he's always up till 3 a.m. Like, he was always up, huh? When he came downstairs. But yeah, he like never stopped, because he was always either researching something or helping someone, just all the time, never stopped. I think his brain got more work than anybody's brain, I swear. But yeah, I just thank you guys. It really means a lot. And I actually enjoyed this. I was dreading it. I felt like I was gonna throw up when I got here. But it's been really nice, and I feel like I do enjoy all the laughter and the memories, because he definitely is a smart ass. Definitely.
And he did like pork tenderloins.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, he was a smart ass, and he did purposely drive by goats every day, because he would say, it's not a good day if I don't see goats on the way to work. So he really did have a goat thing. And our plan was to eventually move and have a little farm with goats on it, but I don't think I'm gonna have goats. But I don't want to take care of farm animals. But yeah, he just always wanted to have a goat, but he wanted to have some land first, even though my backyard right now could use a goat, honestly. But yeah, he just loved goats. I don't know why, just does.
That's Russ.
Yeah, that's Russ. It's his thing. And I mean, I've known him, you know, he was a DJ the whole time we dated, so it was interesting, because I was 17 and he was 19, and he's DJing in clubs that you're not supposed to be, you know, drinking in, because you're both under 21, and it was interesting. But yeah, it was a fun life. I'm really happy that I got to do it. Now I move on to the next chapter, you know. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you guys.
Appreciate your feeling.
Did you want to say something?
No.
All right.
No hug.
Oh, thanks,
No.
son. You give the best hugs.
I'm glad there wasn't rain.
I know.
It didn't turn around.
Stop whining behind. Hey, how you doing, partner?
I kept telling him, you gotta get hold of him.
I
like this. You did a really good job. No, you really did do a good job. It's like, oh, what, she either needs to clap or a hug. You know, I guess I'm going on.
No, it was a good night.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the vigil for our beloved Russ Utz. May you rest in peace. We do ask everybody that if you were not able to come be a part of the vigil, we do ask if you will, please share his memories, folks, by sharing this video. This is Eddie George and Lori Kane reporting live here on Harbor Street at Russ Utz Memorial. Rest in peace, Russ. You shall be missed. You may be gone, but you will never be forgotten.